Hey everybody, Isaac Brooks back for first time since October. That's right, yeah, October of last year with another video. Kind of surprising it was that long ago, but there's been a lot of stuff going on. So, yeah. Aside from that, here today to go over the results of WWE's latest live event, which was Night of Champions over in Saudi Arabia. And after I do that, I'll go over some of my plans of what to do for videos in the future. So, with that said, let's get to it. First match was for the World Heavyweight Championship, which honestly, I think WWE is being a little silly with how they're describing this World Heavyweight title, like pretty much having it be a new championship, even though it looks a lot like the original big gold that was brought in 2002, I believe, after a few years of WWE buying out WCW. But that's beside the point right now. Probably another topic for a different time. Anyway, it was Seth Rollins going against AJ Styles to determine who is going to be the new champion. And wow, the match was pretty good, must say. I'm not the biggest fan of either one of them, but I will admit, give credit where it's due, both of them know how to put on a show. Rollins looked like he tweaked his knee a little bit during one of his dives to the outside. But aside from that, he gave quite the battle against AJ. So many times that looked like either one of them could have won. But in the end, it was Seth Rollins picking up the victory. And Triple H handed over the World Heavyweight Championship to him. With their history, it kind of made sense for that way. And I guess also made sense since Triple H was the one to reveal the new world title. But, yeah. Then after that, it was what many people would consider to be a dream match between Becky Lynch and Trish Stratus, with no championship on the line because neither of them had one. Pretty much just bragging rights. The match, for the most part, was decent, but with Trish now working as a heel, or for those of you that don't know wrestling terminology, a bad individual working on the side of evil. Use a lot of those kind of tactics, including at the very end, or close to it, whatever, looked like she was going to get something from under the ring, but came up with nothing until Becky got her back into the ring, and recently called up from NXT, Zoe Stark attacked Becky, threw her back into the ring, and aided Trish in that way to give her the victory. So, yeah, up to that point, the match was tolerable. It was all right. And then you could almost figure the outcome for this one. Gunther versus Mustafa Ali. Even though there was a lot of people wanting Mustafa to win, almost in a way had kind of like a home field advantage. Sort of how McIntyre and Sheamus did at Clash at the Castle. But much like both Drew and Sheamus at that said show, Ali didn't fare out too well against Gunther. And Gunther's reign of terror with the Intercontinental Championship continues. And then after that, it was the Raw Women's Championship on the line. Bianca Belair defending against Asuka, in which was a relatively back and forth match. And since Asuka's now working as heel, at the very end of the match, had some of the mist on her hand. And as Bianca was setting her up for the KOD, Asuka basically just rubbed the mist into Bianca's face, getting her in her eye, hit a few kicks, and then got the pin. And so, yeah, you could say that Asuka stole that one. But, yeah, I guess it makes the continuation of that story a little more personal without delving into, like, family matters. The next up was the SmackDown Women's Championship, which is honestly really confusing because both Bianca and Asuka are currently drafted on SmackDown, and both of them have been battling for the Raw title, and the participants for the SmackDown Women's title, Rhea Ripley, the current champion, and Natalya, both currently reside on Monday Night Raw. But anyway, Ripley had Dominic in her corner, obviously. Dominic caused a distraction, and in turn caused Ripley to squash, let's just say, Natalya, and pick up the victory. Honestly, that was to be expected, but you would have thought that somebody with the legacy of Natalya coming from the legendary Hart family would have had a little more of a fight. But I don't know. They just want to build up Ripley a little more, which kind of makes sense, But anyway, then it was Brock Lesnar going against a already injured Cody Rhodes, much like the situation with Cody and Seth Rollins back in Hell in a Cell. But unfortunately for Cody, the outcome didn't go the same way, because even though Cody was giving it his all in the match against Brock Lesnar this time around, still wasn't enough. After kicking out like multiple different F5 attempts, breaking out of the Kimura, delivering a bunch of his top moves like the Cody Cutter, the Crossroads, and the Disaster Kick, Cody passed out after Lesnar's like third or fourth, I can't remember how many Kimuras were attempted in that match. And Brock Lesnar came out victorious. And I'm sure they could easily make a trilogy of big matches out of that, since like they had their battle at Backlash. Where Cody got the one that time, and then Lesnar got the one this time. So, that Money in the Bank, let's say, since I think that's the next coming pay-per-view, or premium event, whatever the WWE wants to call it now, they could do round 3 and give the one to Cody there, perhaps, and see what happens from there. And then it was the main event of a show that was labeled for a triple main event, which still doesn't make much sense, but it was Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn defending their unified tag team championships that they won back at WrestleMania. Or not won back, but had in their possession since WrestleMania. After defeating the Usos. It was KO and Sami against Bloodline members Roman Reigns and Solo Sikoa. And there was a lot of craziness in that one, let's just say. Even before the bell rang, Paul Heyman grabbed the microphone from the ring announcer, did his usual, "My name's Paul Heyman, and these are my current people I'm managing." And then Sami Zayn did a similar thing, speaking in Arabic. Pretty sure it was Arabic. And then, after the bell rang, for the start of the match, a lot of emotion being poured out from the fans to Sami Zayn. A lot of Olay chants and all that, which definitely got on the skin of Roman. And a lot of craziness ensued since that point on, including a point near the end where Kevin Owens is about to powerbomb, or at least it looked like he was going to go for a powerbomb, to Roman Reigns from one announce table through another one. And the Usos came out, even though it blatantly obvious that Roman Reigns is not the biggest fan of them right now. The Usos helped out, or tried to help out Roman. And of course, Roman wouldn't see that bit. Usos went in, super kicked Sami Zayn a little bit. And then they're about to hit like a double super kick on Sami, but Sami moved out of the way. And the Usos hit their own younger brother, Solo Sikoa. And of course, Roman sees that and gets all mad. Going all like, oh, you shouldn't be here. I told you not to be here. Started shoving, I believe it was Jimmy. Got up all in Jay's face, and Jay was like, oh, we're here to support you, man. Day one. And was like, there's no more of that. So, needless to say, after a lot of just being shoved around, being treated like garbage for the last long time, a little over 2.5 years maybe, if not more, Jimmy Uso finally snapped, kicked Roman Reigns not once, but twice. And Jay was having a meltdown, being all conflicted. But honestly, in that kind of situation, there should be no confliction. Granted, the guy is the relative to the Usos, being cousins and everything. But if a guy manipulates you for that long, you should just be like, alright, enough of this, I'm out. And it definitely seems like the Usos are finally getting that through them. And then, after all that ensued, Roman was already out cold on the outside for a bit. Kevin Owens hit a stunner on a Solo, which led to Sami Zayn hitting the haluva kick and getting the win. So, yeah. After all this time, the bloodline definitely looks like it's starting to fall apart, which I'm definitely here for. I'm sure there's a lot of people going, oh, they should have had it go on longer. No. No. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see all the fallout and everything else that comes out of this. Not just the bloodline stuff, but the other stuff as well in the coming weeks. Yeah, that's pretty much all for what happened at Night of Champions, aside from like some backstage segments and interviews. So let's get into the channel update portion of this. So as I mentioned, been not uploading for a real long time, since October of last year. So I will be uploading a little more. Not really sure how often, but yeah, try to be a little more active with all this. And I should probably be a little more active in some other ways too, but So let's get into some of the other videos I have in mind that will be posted in the near future and a little further after that. Gonna do some more videos going over multiple different topics, like the world of like pop culture, or whether it be like what's going on with the latest Marvel and DC movie news, maybe some video game stuff. Probably not like play video game videos. I'm not really sure how to do that kind of thing yet. Be some outside related videos, perhaps, on nicer days. And for those days, I have this vlogging kit that I've had since Christmas, I believe, of either last year or this year, I can't remember which, that I got from my uncle. Includes a bunch of stuff in here. Multifunction phone holder, microphone, LED video light, mini tripod, and an extension pole. So I'll be putting that to use at some point. So yeah. Anyways, I think that's pretty much it for this one. If you enjoyed it, please give it a thumbs up. And if you're coming across my channel, please consider subscribing if you want. I'm not forcing you. And it's totally free. You don't have to pay anything. Which is one of my biggest worries before I started subscribing to YouTubers. But anyway, until next time, this is Isaac Brooks, signing off. Hope everyone has a good rest of their day, and there I said to see you next time, so let us stop the video now. Bye.